Every single morning while you're brushing your teeth or making your coffee, cancer cells are quietly forming inside your body. Fear, and that's not me trying to scare you. That's literally what oncologists, like cancer doctors, that confirmed in a landmark study every single day. But here's what that same study also found. And this is the part your doctor probably never mentioned to you in a 10-minute checkup. There is one simple habit, something you can do before you even leave your house, that activates your body's own cancer-killing defense system so powerfully that people who do it consistently have up to 42% lower rates of the most common cancers after age 50. That it costs nothing, and it takes less than 20 minutes. And right now, over 1 billion people on the planet are already doing it. They just don't realize why it's protecting them. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand something about your body that most people, including most doctors, never explain clearly. And I promise you, once you hear this, you will never look at this habit the same way again. I am going to cover exactly what this habit is, the science behind why it works, the 3 mistakes people over 50 make that cancel out all the benefits, and the specific way to do it that gets maximum cancer protection. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about why this matters specifically after the age of 50. Because this is something most people don't fully understand, and it changes everything. When you were young, in your 20s, your 30s, your immune system was essentially running 24 hours a day like a highly trained security force. Every time an abnormal cell appeared, the kind that could eventually become cancer, your immune system found it, flagged it, and destroyed it quietly, efficiently, and without you ever knowing. But here's what happens after 50. Your immune system goes through something scientists call immunosenescence. And that's just a medical word for immune aging. And what it means in simple terms is this: your immune cells start responding slower. They become less sharp. They miss things they would have caught 20 years ago. At the same time, something else is happening. Your cells have been dividing billions of times over your lifetime. And every time a cell divides, there's a small chance of a copying error, a mutation. The older you are, the more times those divisions have happened and the more accumulated errors exist. So after 50, you've got 2 problems working against you at the same time. More abnormal cells are forming, and your body's ability to catch and destroy them has weakened. This is why cancer rates more than double after the age of 50 compared to younger adults. This is not bad luck. This is biology. And this is exactly why the habit I'm about to show you is so powerful, because it directly targets both of these problems. It both reduces the formation of abnormal cells and it strengthens your body's cancer surveillance system. But before I tell you what it is, I want you to understand one more thing, because this will explain why so many people do this habit wrong. The single biggest driver of cancer after 50 that most people never talk about is chronic inflammation, not the inflammation you feel when you sprain your ankle, not the kind that makes your throat sore when you have a cold. I'm talking about something called silent inflammation or low-grade systemic inflammation. You can't feel it, yet you can't see it. Most routine blood tests don't even check for it, but it is burning inside millions of people over 50 right now as they watch this video. Here's why this matters for cancer. Chronic inflammation creates an environment in your body that cancer cells absolutely love. It damages your DNA over time, which increases mutations. It suppresses the immune cells responsible for finding abnormal cells. and it produces chemicals that actually help tumors grow new blood vessels, essentially feeding them. A major review published in the journal Nature found that chronic inflammation is connected to over 20% of all cancers. Some researchers believe the true number is even higher. So, what causes this silent inflammation? Poor sleep, processed foods, sheer stress, sedentary behavior, excess body fat, particularly belly fat, which functions almost like an inflammation producing organ. And here's the critical point. All of these things become more common after 50 unless you are actively doing something about them. Now, are you ready to hear what the habit is? Because it's not a supplement, and it's not a special diet. It's not an expensive test or a doctor's visit. It is something completely free, something humans have done since the beginning of time, something your body was literally designed for. Now, before you click away thinking, I already know I should walk more, please listen. Because what I'm about to explain is not the vague advice your doctor gave you. This is the actual mechanism, the specific science of what walking does inside your body that kills cancer cells. And once you understand this, you'll realize that most people are doing it completely wrong and getting maybe 20% of the benefit. Here, and let's start with the research. A landmark study that followed over 400,000 adults for more than a decade found that people who walked regularly had a 25% lower risk of developing colon cancer, the third most common cancer in adults over 50. Another major study published in the British Journal of Cancer found that women who walked briskly for 30 minutes a day had up to a 35% lower risk of breast cancer compared to sedentary women. And perhaps most compelling, research from the American Cancer Society found that people who were physically active for at least 30 minutes per day were significantly less likely to develop 13 different types of cancer. 13. But here is what the research shows is actually happening inside your body. When you walk, especially after a meal, your muscles act like a sponge for blood sugar. They pull glucose out of your bloodstream and use it for energy. This keeps your insulin levels low. And this matters enormously for cancer because high insulin is one of the most powerful growth signals cancer cells respond to. It's essentially fertilizer for tumors. Walking after meals is one of the most effective ways to keep your insulin controlled. And it works even better than most medications for this purpose. Here's one that will blow your mind. When your body moves, when you walk at a moderate pace, it triggers a release of a specific type of immune cell called natural killer cells, or NK cells. These cells are your body's most specialized cancer hunters. Their entire job is to find abnormal cells and destroy them before they can develop into tumors. Studies have shown that a single 30-minute walk can increase natural killer cell activity in your bloodstream by up to 50% for several hours afterward. Think about that. Just by walking, you are essentially deploying an extra army of cancer-killing soldiers inside your body. Remember what we discussed about chronic inflammation. Regular, moderate walking is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory activities known to science. It reduces levels of C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation. It lowers inflammatory cytokines. It literally changes the chemical environment inside your body from one that supports cancer growth to one that suppresses it. One study found that people who walked regularly had 30% lower inflammatory markers than sedentary people of the same age. Excess estrogen is a major risk factor for several cancers, including breast and uterine cancer. Body fat, especially around the belly, that produces estrogen. Walking helps reduce body fat, which in turn reduces estrogen production. For women over 50, this is enormously significant. This one surprises people. Walking actually stimulates something called intestinal motility, the movement of food through your digestive system. This reduces the amount of time that potential carcinogens in food stay in contact with your colon lining. This is one of the primary reasons walking is so powerfully protective against colon cancer. So, walking isn't just exercise. It is a full body anti-cancer protocol. Um, and it's free. You can start today here in Shag. Now, here's where most people go wrong. And I say this because I see it constantly. People tell me they walk every day, but they're still not getting the protective benefits. Almost always, it comes down to one of these three mistakes. This might be the biggest one. Not all walking is equal for cancer prevention. Casual strolling, the kind where you're completely comfortable and could hold a full conversation with no effort, provides some benefits, but a fraction of what you get from brisk walking. What the research shows is most protective is what scientists call moderate intensity walking. The benchmark, you should be walking fast enough that you can still talk in short sentences, but not so fast that you can sing. If you can comfortably sing while you walk, you're going too slowly. If you can barely get out a word, you're going too fast. For most people over 50, this is around 3 to 3.5 miles per hour, or roughly 100 steps per minute. Here's inside. You should feel slightly warm. Your breathing should be noticeably deeper. This is the zone where your natural killer cells activate most powerfully and where your insulin regulation benefits are greatest. People think, I'll walk for an hour on Saturday and Sunday, and that covers my week. Yeah, it does. This is not how the biology works. Your natural killer cell activation from a single walk lasts for several hours, not several days. The anti-inflammatory effects require consistency to build up over time. And your insulin regulating benefits are most powerful when walking happens in smaller chunks, particularly after meals. Research actually shows that 3 10-minute walks spread throughout the day produce better outcomes for both blood sugar and inflammation than one single 30-minute walk, because you're getting those insulin spikes after each meal. The goal for cancer prevention is daily movement, not weekend warrior sessions. Even 20-30 minutes every day creates a dramatically different internal environment than 2 hours once a week. This is the advanced mistake, and fixing it is where you get the biggest bang for your effort. The single most powerful time to walk for cancer prevention is within 30 to 90 minutes after your largest meal of the day. Here's why. After you eat, especially a meal with carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises and your body releases insulin. If you are sedentary during this window, insulin stays elevated for hours. If you walk during this window, your muscles act immediately to pull glucose from your blood, insulin comes down faster, and you dramatically reduce the cancer-promoting hormonal environment that a large insulin spike creates. A study from George Washington University found that 3 15-minute walks after meals lowered blood sugar 24 hours a day, significantly more than one 45-minute morning walk. If you do nothing else from this video, walk after dinner. That every night, 15 to 20 minutes. Yes, that one change alone is powerful, and my remain encouraging. So let me give you the exact protocol, and simple, specific, and based on the research. Step 1, commit to 20 minutes minimum every day. Then not most days, and every day, think of it like a medication you don't skip, because functionally, that's what it is. Step 2, aim for brisk pace. Use the talk test. Short sentences, yes. Singing, no. If you're new to exercise or have joint issues, start at whatever pace is comfortable and gradually increase over 2 to 3 weeks. Step 3, schedule your most important walk after your biggest meal. This is your post-dinner or post-lunch walk. Put it in your phone as a daily alarm. Cancer prevention walk, 7:30 p.m. Make it non-negotiable. Step 4, add a second short walk in the morning, even 10 minutes. This activates your immune cells early in the day and starts your inflammatory regulation early. Morning light exposure during this walk also regulates your cortisol rhythm, which further reduces systemic inflammation. Step 5, track your steps. Not to obsess over a number, but because research consistently shows that people who track their activity do significantly more of it. Aim for a minimum of 7,000 steps per day. 8,000 to 10,000 is optimal for cancer protection. Don't start there if you're not there. Start where you are and improve by 500 steps per week. Step 6, don't sit for longer than 90 minutes at a time. Even if you walk every day, prolonged sitting independently increases cancer risk. Set a timer, stand up. Kirsch, walk to the kitchen and walk around the room. Breaking up sitting time is a separate benefit from your daily walk. That's it. 6 steps. No equipment, no cost. No side effects except better sleep, better energy, and better mood, which are well-documented bonuses of regular walking. The oncologists and researchers who study this are not describing something complicated. They are describing something ancient, something your great-grandparents did naturally because their world required it. We live in a world that removes walking from our lives by design. Cars, elevators, remote controls, delivery apps. So now we have to choose it deliberately. And I want to leave you with this thought. Cancer does not appear overnight. It builds over years through thousands of small inflammatory moments, thousands of insulin spikes, thousands of missed immune opportunities. And it can be slowed, reduced, and prevented through the exact same principle, thousands of small protective moments, one walk at a time. The research is clear, this isn't alternative medicine. This isn't a trend. Walking after 50 with intention and consistency is one of the most evidence-backed things you can do to reduce your cancer risk. And it is available to you starting literally today. So here's my challenge for you. This week, take one walk after dinner every single night. Just this week, 7 days. And notice how you feel. Notice your energy here on Sure. Notice your sleep, and then come back here, because on this channel, every single week, I bring you exactly this kind of information, the science-backed habits that give your body the best chance at a long, healthy life after 50. If this video gave you something useful, please share it. Send it to a friend, and send it to a parent. This is the kind of information that genuinely saves lives, and most people will never hear it in a doctor's office. Hit subscribe. Here is ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, because that is always worth it.